All right, everyone, we're about to do our analysis for our corrosion lab. So we set up our copper as a positive, and we ran some tests and said now it's time to analyze the data. So we're going to go to week 14. We are going to download our data in the zip file. Excuse me for my, not my not burp, but anyways. So let's go ahead and we are going to extract everything from this data file. And I'm going to go to the downloads, and I'm going to actually look at this. So I'm going to Control C, and I am going to insert this into our data list. So these are all text files. So what we can do is we can pull out, and we can look at the data set. So this is looking at our first data, which is silver, which makes sense. That is, and actually if we look at the third one, those values should be -2 because gold is also more electronegative, and so we see these negative values pop up here. So we can actually look at the data and flatten that. So we can flatten the first data, and now you can do the same thing and run this table function, and it will show you essentially the value of all of our data. So it's just flattening the entire data set as a table. So if we want to look at our mean values, we can look at our DAT, pull out the first one, and take the mean. And we can do that, and then we can also do this for table. We can go here, I from 1 to length of our DAT. And you see our averages for all the different values, and we can look at, I think that's platinum to the second at the very end. Let's look at our data set. Yeah, that makes sense. So we see positive, negative voltages, so we're going to arrange that essentially to rank them in our table. So remember, if it's negative, that means that copper is corroding. If it's positive, then it's not. So you can also do, to get an idea of the error, standard deviation. Standard error is basically just the standard deviation of the data set divided by the square root of the length of the data set. So not the standard deviation, just the length. So this would be essentially the error in each of the measurements for standard error. There we go. We've got it. So we got the text files that we wrote to. Now it's time to analyze our data. So we'll see you all in the next video. Thanks. Actually, in the next, in another lab, in another course. That's the end for our lab activities for ENGR 330. So it's been a pleasure. Thanks. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.